So I want to do a bit of an update, my mental health and with the tax debt and situation. So just feel so relieved today and proud of myself because I was just so stressed out today. Two fears that I faced. So I called a company, a charity that helps with people that are in tax debt, and they were really nice. And I called up the HMRC, and I can't believe how nice the lady was. It's just having this OCD, this anxiety, it just really plays tricks on you. It's when you speak to people, there's always a solution. They were very nice. They said there's like nothing to worry about. They can, figure out. Oh, I've got to take a deep breath. Figure out a slow payment plan, or basically nothing to worry about. Like my fear was basically like worst case scenario, like going to prison. It's almost like when I say that, people almost laugh. They're like, absolutely not. That's what it's like living with this disorder. I don't want to keep making excuses, but this is what I deal with, on a kind of been dealing with it all my life on certain situations. And the crazy thing is, once I talk to people on the phone, or usually if they're in person, I'm scared, I'm anxious, but I can handle things a lot better because I can get the reassurance that I'm communicating with a person. But the most scary part for me is having the letters. When you got a letter, you can't speak to it, and it's just bothering me, playing on my mind. And that's where my OCD starts to just it just goes rampant. Just the paranoia just don't stop, and I just get into this cycle where I feel like I'm indebted forever. I can't get out, and that's been like a common theme throughout my life. And as I said, when things are going well, I can handle things a lot better. But there's certain triggers that even when things are going well, I struggle to cope with, and that's always usually financial debt. With tax or with a bank or with rent. It's usually always authority. If it was like a friend or someone, it wouldn't bother me because I wouldn't really get in much debt of a friend anyway. But with a friend, you can speak to a friend. They're not gonna, well, usually if they're a good friend, they're not gonna penalise you. But when you're dealing with the government or a business or a landlord, it's the sort of imaginary monster in your head, in my head, that starts to bully you. And it's almost a shock to the system when you speak to them on the phone. They're human, they understand there is a solution. It's not just black and white, like, well, you owe this money, you have to pay all the money up front. If you don't pay it, you go into prison. It's like, that's what OCD does. It doesn't have any sort of empathy. There's no sort of middle ground that, well, if you haven't got all the money, you can pay it bit by bit, or if you ain't got any money, there's charities or there's help out there. There's a possibility they could, cut some of the debt down, or if your mental health condition's so bad that they can wipe it off. So when you've got OCD, you don't get that. You don't get that sort of dialogue. It's just like life and death. It exaggerates, but it's difficult when you're in it. And I know sometimes rationally that these things are unlikely to happen, but in my head, if I get triggered, I can't see sense when I'm in that trigger. It's very difficult for me to think in a sort of normal way that someone else who doesn't have OCD would think, obviously. So I'm just trying to calm down. So yeah, that was a lot of progress today. Because I didn't want to do it. I was trying to put it off. I didn't want to call the tax today. I was trying to think, let me call Monday. And other things today as well, like, the gas people had to come around today. I didn't want to deal with that. I just didn't want to be around people. Just felt like it's going to stress me out. I dealt with that. So that's what I'm learning at the moment. I'm having to face things as much as I can, and also just having the courage and not being embarrassed or frightened to get the help that I need. And I'm getting a lot of help and support as well. I really do appreciate it from the doctors and family. And this lady's really helped me from the Citizens Advice Bureau. She's wrote like a note to the HMRC about my mental health condition. And they're just, yeah, people are very understanding. I'm pretty surprised, man. That's good in a way. I think hopefully times are changing, because it's like, it's not a headache or an excuse. And I've said that, if I had the money, I'd pay it straight away. I hate being in debt. And I don't like not being working. I hate not working. If my mental health was good, and if I was able to work and run my business back, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But the reality is at the moment I'm not. And they're very understanding. They're like, take time. Things take time, and I have to learn that in my life, especially with OCD, that I can't always solve everything in one day. Like nothing, like things take time. There's a process. So yeah, got the rent sorted out, paid my rent. Landlords are great with that. Got my obviously made progress with the tax, contacted the charity and support they're helping. HMRC said, yeah, you've done everything right, you haven't got to worry. So it's a process, they'll contact me back, we're going to sort this out. And I can't do any more than that at the moment, Did all my therapy, still working on the therapy, trying to go gym each day. And but it's, I'm not going to lie, it's a battle every day. Like, it's hard every day with this this current stage. I'm trying I'm trying hard to be compassionate to myself and treat myself how I treat other people, which is really good, really, really well. So yeah, but even now it's like, I have to learn now. So even though everything's fine, I've got the reassurance, I've called tax, my rent's done, I know what my OCD's like, my anxiety. In the next 30 minutes or an hour, I'll be going to get some food at the shop, or I'll be going to the gym today, and my mind can start worrying, saying, did you do that? Did you say that? Are you sure you mentioned that? And I'm like, I've done it all. Like, at some point, I've just got to switch off, because it won't stop otherwise. So yeah, and I feel like I'm always going over the same thing, but I have dealt with a lot. I know we're all going through stuff. People are going, it's a hard time for all of us, right? So I'm not excluding anyone. I'm not saying my problems are not bigger than anyone else's, but obviously with my situation, my body's like still grieving with the death of my friend, and I'm still grieving like the diagnosis of OCD, and I'm sort of dealing with the sort of come down last couple of years. Obviously there's been some good times, but they've been really difficult for me. So I feel like my body's just got to calm down, and all the therapy that I did, which I'm grateful for, the 3 months that I did on the NHS, I've sort of like calming down. So I just haven't stopped lately. My mind, my mental health and the physical hasn't, just like, I just feel like I've just been it's like being at war with yourself, like, and my body's exhausted. And there's like, I'm constantly kind of in fight or flight. So I'm just trying to like settle my nerves down and relax, and just try and focus on today, going gym, getting some food and just relaxing. But I still feel a bit panicky, still like just stressed and nervous. So don't know how I'm getting through this lately, but thank God with the help. But yeah, I was just scared to death this morning when I got up. I just thought, you know what, I can't face the day. I can't deal with the tax. I can't deal. Had to call up this charity, and I just, these things make me nervous. Letters, official letters, banks, tax, debt, anything in the mail that's like official, it triggers me. Waiting on phone calls triggers the life out of me. When you're on hold and there's music and you're waiting, I just get such a build up of anxiety. I struggle to wait. I remember before I used to go and spar down the boxing gym, I was how I am now, just a bag of nerves, a complete mess, terrified of the waiting to get in. I just hate waiting for anything. I just always want that relief, get out of the way. But I learned that's obviously, it's part of life. We all got to do it. But so far, yeah, thank God, man. Things are getting better. I didn't think, where was it? Even from last week, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was just thinking, there's no way out of this hole that I'm in. Like, there was so much stress on me. I was like, how am I going to get through this? Like, that's when I started thinking, I'm sorry to say it, like, I'm still terrible saying this, but I've got to be honest, if I'm going to get well. That's when I started to feel like, you know what, I just want to end my life. Like, I don't want to end my life. It's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to, upset my family, let people down. But I just got to a point where I was like, I just can't cope anymore with this stress of being trapped, feeling like I can't get out. I'm trying hard, I'm exercising, I'm even to the point, like I said a few months ago, I should have stopped working, but I didn't want to stop working. Like, I didn't want to give up, and I was pushing and pushing and pushing. It got to a point where it's like, I can't do this anymore. So yeah, I really do appreciate all the support from all of you. I don't expect it. I'm not asking for it. I'm just trying to get this out, and I feel guilty sometimes when all of you will still do it. I'll put these videos out. I'm talking about myself and my issues, which makes me feel selfish all the time. And people are still going to say you're inspiring. And I almost want to say, now, please stop saying that, because I don't feel that I'm inspiring at the moment. I feel weak as hell, down. And I don't know how I'm getting through this, but I'm trying my best to get myself well. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm actually trying to look after myself, as opposed to always worrying about looking after clients and everyone else, which I love doing, but I just can't do it at the moment. My body and my mind is just under too much stress. So I've really just sometimes just got to focus on taking 1 hour at a time. And that's why reading these David Goggins books is helping me a lot. And I'm constantly, even though my mum's saying not to do it, I'm feeling guilty for my mum, the stress I put my mum under, my family, but I'm trying hard. I'm trying hard not to put any stress on them. I know that they keep saying I'm not, but the reality is you do. You know, when you've got this obsessive compulsive disorder and you're going through stress and you're grieving and you're trying to sort your debts out, you do become, you know, well, that's nice. I just got a little scripture message there on my Bible app. You do put stress on others. You know, it's inevitable. So I try to lessen the stress that I'm putting on everyone. But I just want to just sit and take some time to just appreciate the help that the doctors have gave me, everyone that's given me. I've got to be grateful, because obviously there's countries where people they're not going to get any help, and that's why I feel guilty sometimes. So I'm grateful for the help that I'm getting, and I do just feel embarrassed at my age. I'm 41 years of age, and I'm struggling this much. But I think I can't go back in time, but part of me wishes that I would have I didn't know, obviously, I wasn't diagnosed, but I wish I kind of did this when I was 30, 31, but I can't go back in time, or in my 20s, but I didn't know. I didn't know that I had this mental health condition. I didn't even understand it, let alone, I'm still getting to know it and understand it. But I've got to say, look at the positives. I have things that broke off, and as I said today, honestly, I was so close to calling HMRC, but the lady and the people that I called up, the charity, they did say it is good that you correspond. As long as you're corresponding with them, you can't get in trouble. And they've just been great so far. So again, that OCD bully, we call it the bully, my therapist calls it lies about pretty much everything, you know what I mean? I can't really trust anything that it says. It always says to me I'm going to get the worst case scenario possible. Always me, and everyone else will be fine. And when I face my fears, usually that ain't the case. And I'm just trying to look forward to a brighter future, and please God I get through this and I'll be able to work again. But that's another thing that I'm worrying about at the moment. I need to stop trying to make decisions. I don't know if I can continue going back to the work that I did, even though I love it. I just don't know I don't know. I've got to see what happens, but I hope in the future, next year, I hope that I get myself well again and just get out of this cycle and just get back to where I was before, even better, and then I can make a decision then, because so many things that I want to do, and just down at the moment as well, because I really want to get a relationship. I just feel at the moment I'm not strong enough at the moment, and then I just maybe share my story, write a book, or help people in a way. I don't really care, really, even if it's just for free, just to put my story out there and raise awareness on OCD, because it's a horrible condition to have. It really is, for any age. It's very debilitating. So yeah, I'm just trying to think today what I'm going to do. Probably do some exercising. I've just got to try to stop thinking and just work on the therapy, the tools, daily battle. But yeah, I am grateful, man, for just to be able to eat, my rent paid. These are the basics. And I realised this lately, I've said it again, and I really mean it, and I've said this before. Like, I don't really care. I don't care about money. Money doesn't make me happy. It's peace of mind. It's having a good mental. And obviously people are going to say, oh, well, you know, you say that, but of course we need rent. As long as my rent's paid and I can eat and I can go to the gym and I don't have any debts to worry about. But other than that, I just want to have my peace back, and I just want to be out of this place of feeling a bit selfish and unwell, and being able to enjoy my life again, what I had before. And because when I had money before, I wasn't enjoying it, because I was suffering with my mental health. So it's really like having good mental health, and then any money that you earn, you can enjoy it. But solely believing that money is going to, it doesn't work. Hasn't worked for me anyway. I can only speak for me. So sometimes I just like getting this out, because it feels good to get it out. You say what your values are and what you appreciate. Just care about my family, you know, just the basics of life. And I just don't want to suffer with this condition anymore. I just want to get over it, get well again. So yeah, look, if it does help other people, I'm glad, but I'm not doing these videos thinking, oh, it's nice if it does, but it's more for myself, to try and get myself well. And just doing these daily videos is like therapy for me. And that's my next step. Just try and get much help from the doctors, and Thing about medication at the moment, I spoke to the doctors about it. I'm just too scared to take medication because I'm worried about the health risks on it. My health anxiety and OCD starts worrying. But if my mental health gets any worse and I have to take it, then I might consider again, because the doctors, they've been pretty good. They're not going to force me, so it's my decision. But I would love to do more therapy for OCD, but at the moment I can't afford paid therapy. There's some really good therapists out there that I'd like to work with who've had my condition, who've overcome it. I think I'd like to potentially work with someone who's had OCD, because then they know what it's like. You know, I'm not going to feel judged. They understand the condition and they've overcome it. Or maybe someone who's good. My last therapist, I don't know if she had it or not. She did help me a lot though. So yeah, I've got to figure a way out of trying to get some more therapy, because I need more. I need a lot more help. I'm realizing that. And the hard part that I've got to accept with all this, and no one can give me the answers and I don't have them, is that I don't know how long it's going to take. And that sometimes really gets me down, because if I knew, like, well, in 3 months time I can get myself well again and get back to work, then I'd be so happy. But I can't say that, and no one can know that. It could be longer, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be 8, I don't know, it could be longer. I just want it to be as quick as it can, but that's something that I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn to get better with. So yeah, you know, and like I was having this chat with my mum, some days I'm better, other days I'm not. I just, even yesterday, it was a struggle for me to get my hair cut. I just weren't in the mood to be around people. I just felt like I don't want to be all anxious and stressed, but I just had to force myself to do it, because it looks a lot better. I don't want to look scruffy and stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to do what I can at the moment, and all I can do is what I'm doing. That's a lot. So yeah, man, and I'm just gonna say again, because I'm still gonna feel selfish. Trust me, any of you that have got OCD that are struggling with intrusive thoughts and worry and panic, I'm going through it, so I know what you're going through. Believe me, I care. I do understand, and all I can really say is what people have told me: go and get professional help. That's what I've done. Don't be afraid to talk about it, and do it anyway. I'm still scared to talk about it every day, but I want to get well again, you know. And I've always tried to learn from the values that I was brought growing up with, and the strongest thing that a person can do, a man can do, is get the help to help himself. So I'm not giving up, just saying like I'm going to quit, you know, I'm going to end my life, or I'm just going to take drugs and drink. That's something that I've chosen not to do. And I mean that respectfully, because it's hard. This is, when you're struggling, you start thinking, what can I do to numb this pain? How can I stop thinking? How do I get out of these intrusive thoughts, or the anxiety, the worry? So it's hard for people, man. I think people do, but there's still a lot of people that don't understand how much we suffer, how hard it is. And as I said before, it's not a headache, it's not a sore throat, it's not just a little bit of anxiety that we all get. It's chronic anxiety, chronic intrusive thoughts, chronic worry, and constant triggers. And you know, as I said, you can be okay for a couple of hours, and then one trigger, you know, anything that sort of triggers it. And sometimes you just don't know when you're going to get triggered. That's what's quite frightening about it. You can be going about your day, I think, I feel all right today, I feel a lot better today, I can sort of, you know, be at a bit more peace, and all of a sudden I can just get triggered. So yeah, wow, this has been a difficult week, man, but I'm glad I've been able to do it. So the tax, kind of sorted that out, rent, universal credit, yeah, and I'm just trying to keep to my routine of trying to get up early, getting out of the house, exercising, and just trying to communicate with friends and family. But I'll be honest, at the moment, and I feel a bit bad to anyone at the moment, I'm not always in the mood to be around friends, and I love them, it's not them, it's me, because my OCD, my anxiety, there's times I don't even want to be with myself. So I think people understand this, good friends and sufferers understand it, and I understand it. You know, if someone said they just didn't want to be around me, it's not because they've got OCD. I understand. It's not easy when you've got this condition, being around people, especially friends and family that you love, because you're just triggered. You don't want to put stress on people. So yeah, I'll probably try and do another video tomorrow or later on, an update. And I hope all of you are all right. I know that everyone else is a stressful time for people. So yeah, appreciate everyone listening, and me doing these videos is also me confronting my fears, my OCD. It's just getting things out and getting it off my chest. Just give me a little bit more of peace of mind if I can get that. So yeah, I appreciate all of you, right?